don't enforce your gay teaching to our Muslim children. Don't force.
Then take your children out of the country. Because that's part of our national curriculum. If you don't like it, take your children out.
Don't force.
Look, I've got a daughter. I've listened to mothers who've lost their kids to this cult, whose daughters now don't have a womb or don't have breasts, or they're never going to hear their daughter's voice again. You know, everybody wants to live in a world where they can say the truth. I think they're terrorists because I think what they want to do is they want to instill fear and they want to intimidate for a political objective and to silence women. So I think it's fair to call them terrorists. I don't think that's too inflammatory.
Now, she's one of the most controversial and fearless women's rights campaigners in the world, and tonight she's fresh off the plane from a terrifying ordeal in New Zealand, where she experienced misogynistic violence from trans extremists. In shocking scenes of woke tyranny she feared could result in her death. Unbelievable. The person who doused Kelly J with liquid has since been identified as a trans extremist who gave this chilling speech just hours after the attack, calling for Kelly J to be covered in blood.
I dropped a liter of tomato juice because I want her to be full of blood, because that's what she's advocating for. She's advocating for our genocide. I dropped a liter of tomato juice because I want her to be full of blood, because that's what she's advocating for. She's advocating for our genocide.
One of the things that's been so shocking to see, and it's what J.K. Rowling described as repellent, is that at these so-called protests, that's not really the right word for them, are they? It's sort of violent criminal activity. There are trans activists, men, physically beating up on women.
I know. Yeah, like, I think they're terrorists because I think what they want to do is they want to instill fear and they want to intimidate for a political objective and to silence women. So I think it's fair to call them terrorists. I don't think that's too inflammatory. But the way that mob behaved, I genuinely did feel like I was going to be crushed to death, or if I got to the floor, I'd never get up. I just thought I would be stomped, brutally stomped.
Yeah. It was absolutely terrifying. Now, look, can I just say it was terrifying? But is part of your goal by doing this to actually expose the trans lobby for what it is?
Yes.
Misogynistic, violent, and I would argue intolerant.
Oh, just like the epitome of bigotry, right? And fascistic, authoritarian behaviour. Everything I do has this wonderful benefit of drawing out the poison. So when I put the billboard up back in 2018, I knew that there'd be some men really angry about the dictionary definition of the word woman, and they would do my work for me. I mean,
people are trying to track you down. Why do you feel it's worth it?
Well, look, I've got a daughter. I've listened to mothers who've lost their kids to this cult, whose daughters now don't have a womb or don't have breasts, or they're never going to hear their daughter's voice again. And also, once you know that this is happening, it's very difficult not to try and do something about it. Like, it's just completely immoral, and women throughout the Western world are suffering the same fate through this sort of quasi-religious cult. Everybody wants to live in a world where they can say the truth. Everybody wants to live in a world where they can say the truth. I don't know what the impact for children who've been lied to repeatedly. I don't know what the impact is on them long term, but it has to stop.
If they was my kids, I would have took off my belt and gave them one of those good old 1972 ass whoopings.